The hand under the pillow. A new start. Daniel had always been a deep sleeper. He could sleep through thunderstorms, sirens, and even his roommate blasting music at full volume. Moving into his new apartment in an old building downtown felt like a fresh start. New job, new city, and finally a place of his own. The apartment was small but cozy, with creaky wooden floors and antique fixtures. The only odd thing was the bedroom. It had a strange atmosphere, an eerie silence that seemed thicker than the rest of the apartment. On his first night, Daniel unpacked, made his bed, and collapsed onto the mattress, exhausted. As he reached under his pillow for his phone, his fingers brushed against something cold. He yanked his hand back immediately. His heart pounded. He hesitated, then reached under the pillow again. Nothing. Probably just my imagination, he thought, shaking off the unease. The whisper in the night. The next few nights were normal, but each night Daniel had the strangest feeling that someone was watching him. His sleep was restless, filled with strange, half-formed nightmares. Then, on the fifth night, it happened again. As he reached under his pillow in the dark, his fingers touched something. Not an object, but flesh. It was a hand. Cold, thin, unmoving. Daniel bolted upright, gasping. He turned on the lamp, his breath ragged. He lifted the pillow. Nothing. He exhaled, running a hand through his hair. He was stressed. That had to be it. Maybe a muscle spasm made it feel like something was there. He decided to ignore it. The shadows grow days passed, but the unease grew. The apartment seemed different. Shadows stretched in odd ways, as if something lurked just outside his vision. Objects moved slightly when he wasn't looking. One evening, he invited his friend Mark over for drinks. "Your place is nice," Mark said, looking around, "but it's a little cold in here." Daniel nodded. "Yeah, I've noticed that too, and Bardi, something weird happened the other night." He explained the hand under the pillow. Mark laughed. "Dude, you're just exhausted. Sleep paralysis, maybe?" "Maybe," Daniel mumbled. But deep down, he knew it wasn't just his imagination. The night of horror. That night, Daniel lay in bed, heart pounding. The room was suffocatingly silent. Then, a whisper. It was soft, hoarse, just beside his ear. "Don't move." Daniel froze. His body was paralyzed with fear. The whisper was right next to him, but the room was empty. He reached under the pillow, and his fingers wrapped around something icy and lifeless. A hand, thin, bony, but suddenly it moved. Fingers curled around his wrist. The grip tightened. Daniel screamed. He yanked his hand away, stumbling out of bed. The lamp flickered as if something unseen moved through the room. Then he saw it. At the foot of the bed, something crawled out from under the mattress. It was pale, grotesquely thin, its limbs too long for its body. Its eyes were sunken black holes, and its mouth stretched into a twisted grin. "You finally found me," it rasped. Daniel grabbed his phone and bolted out of the apartment, never looking back. The truth beneath. He spent the night at Mark's place, too terrified to return. The next morning, he called his landlord. "Has anyone ever reported anything weird about the apartment?" The landlord was silent for a moment, then he sighed. "You should leave." Daniel's blood ran cold. "What do you mean?" "There was a man who lived there before you. He always complained about nightmares, hearing whispers. One day we found him dead in his bed. His hands were clutching his own throat, like something had strangled him." Daniel felt sick. That night, he went back only to grab his things. As he lifted the pillow one last time, he saw it, a deep black handprint, burned into the mattress, and he swore he heard a whisper, soft and amused, "You can't run forever."